Hello everybody, this is Money Mom. Welcome back to the channel. I'm no longer budgeting. What I'm doing instead to simplify my life. Let's get right into it. When I started budgeting, I kept a lot of things on a spreadsheet. I did even track my spending for a while, and I also sometimes kept a notebook, and I actually had stuff written in a notebook, and I also had stuff on a spreadsheet, and it was getting kind of overwhelming. And I would budget certain amounts for different things, like for holidays, for going out to eat, and all of those types of things. Not that there's anything wrong with having a budget and doing that, but I'm going to tell you why I'm no longer doing that at the end. First, I'm going to tell you the 4 things I am doing that has worked for me. Number 1, the very first thing I did, because I no longer wanted to track everything on a spreadsheet or in a notebook, first thing I did is I got rid of everything that wasn't bringing me value. Tons of auto ships, any area that I didn't really want to spend money on whatever item that is anymore. And I got rid of it, which lowered our monthly expenses by about $1,000 a month. That's number 1. Number 2 is the most important thing I did. I looked at all my spending, and I tracked it for a while, and I looked at all the areas from clothing and gifts and entertainment and food budget and bills, and I thought, okay, what area are you overspending? This is my opinion. I think many of us have an area that we can tend to be tempted to overspend. Some people love clothes, some people love books, some people love crafts, some people struggle with buying too much at the grocery store, some people might spend money at drive-thrus. Not all of us have this an issue, but I know for me, an area that I can tend to overspend is groceries. I feel for myself it's the only area that I don't feel good about my spending in that area. So that's why I did decide to budget for groceries. You guys already know this. Last year, my budget was $450 a month. I switched it this year to $425, and I promised myself that no matter what, I'm not going to go over $425 in a month, and I've actually come under budget this year as well. Last year I spent less than 400, it was 390 something. So I was very pleased with that. So I asked myself, what area do I tend to overspend, or what's my trigger? And the only area was groceries, so that's why I kind of have a tight rein on myself for that. Okay, number 4, and this is important, automating my savings. And that is an area that I always like to make sure that I've got some kind of savings going in a savings each month for emergencies. And that's really important. So these are the 4 tips that I've done instead of doing a budget. Kind of what I found is this. You know, there's nothing wrong with having a budget and saying, okay, I'm not going to spend any more on anything, whether it's, you know, gifts or clothes. But say 1 year you're way under your budget for clothes because maybe you work from home that year. But maybe the next year, maybe you've lost a little weight and you need some new clothes and you got a new job where you have to work in a nice office. So maybe that year you did have to go over your grocery budget, not your grocery budget, your clothing budget a little bit, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I think budgets are a wonderful tool. But for me, I want a little more freedom in my life. And so what I'm doing is mindful shopping or mindful buying and purchasing, and really finding out, what do I need? What do I really want that's going to bring me value? And ask myself that instead of doing a strict budget for me. But remember, I'm going to end with saying this. It's personal finance. What works well for one person may not be a good fit for someone else, and that's okay. Each of us have to do what works for us, and we're always learning, right? Let me know how you budget. Do you guys keep it on a spreadsheet? Do you kind of do it more simply? Share with me some tips and tricks that work for you personally. And I'm going to ask one other question. If you feel you overspend in any area, or you can tend to, what's your one trigger area that you can tend to overspend? I want to hear from you in the comments below. That's all I have to say for now. I love you, I appreciate you, and I'll see you on tomorrow morning's video. Bye-bye.